So this one decision can quietly cost you up to 6 figures if you make the wrong one in deciding if you should either go ahead and rent or buy a house. But the thing is, this rent versus buy debate isn't emotional, it's actually a math problem. And renting is a simple calculation. You just take your monthly rent amount, multiply it by 12 months out of the year, and that's how much money that's gone forever right into your landlord's pocket. In buying a home, it's a little more complex. You have your mortgage payment, you have the property taxes that you gotta pay, you have your maintenance costs as well, which all adds into the real cost of homeownership, which is what we're going to be determining today. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Meredith. I'm a mortgage broker. I put out educational videos every single week. So if you want to support, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's get into it. And some housing costs disappear forever, and most people track the wrong ones. So when it comes to rent, it's 100% non-recoverable because all of that money is going straight to your landlord pocket and you're not getting any of that back. And when it comes to owning a home, you do have part equity and ownership of that home. And we're only going to be covering the non-recoverable cost in each with homeownership and in renting. And your home can go up in value and your payment can still explode, all because of the property taxes. Because the property taxes will get more expensive as the home increases in value. And property taxes are paid every year to the government. And on average, property taxes are a little bit over 1% of the home's value. Now, this can change depending on which state or depending on which county that you're in. And on a $500,000 home, that's about $5,500 every year that's gone directly to the government that you don't see back. So property taxes are the number one non-recovering cost when it comes to homeownership. Then you have maintenance costs that you can't ignore because when you're renting, you can just call a landlord, but when you're the owner, then you start having to write checks because homeowners, they pay for every repair that's needed for the house. And a good rule of thumb is maintenance costs can be anywhere from about 1 to 2% of your home's value every year. So on a $500,000 home, you can expect to pay at least $5,000 for the year in maintenance costs. And this is another non-recovering cost that you won't get back when you own a home. Then your down payment secretly has a price tag that comes with it. So minimum down payment is 3%. That means that you're financing 90% of the home's value. And that down payment has an opportunity cost that we need to calculate. Also, the mortgage has a cost of debt as well, which is the interest that you'll pay that you'll never get back. When it comes to calculating the opportunity cost, when it comes to your down payment, first off, if you put that money into the stock market, historically, stocks average about 7% year after year after inflation is taken into account. With homes, it averages about 2% year after year return on investment after inflation. And instead of using that down payment and putting it into the stock market versus buying a home, that's about a 5% gap of loss in return. So then you're going to take your down payment, which in this example, we're using $15,000, multiply it by 5% because that is the loss for putting it into a home. And that's going to give you $750 per year in opportunity cost. And most people are shocked to realize that the majority of their payment, especially early on, doesn't even go to their home. It's mainly going towards the interest, which interest is just pure cost that goes straight to the bank. And on a $485,000 loan amount, you're paying about $28,000 per year in just interest. Then you're going to take that amount plus the opportunity cost of that down payment, and that's going to give you your total capital cost of owning a home. And here's how to turn this all into one simple, easy percentage rule and how to determine what is the cost of owning a home. So you're first going to take your property taxes, which is about 1.11%. Then you're going to take the capital cost, which is about 5.875%. Add this all up, and that gives you the total percentage of cost of owning a home to 7.96% of the home value. And this is where most people realize that sometimes renting is actually cheaper than owning a home. So you're going to take the home's value that you're looking at, multiply it by 7.96%, and that's going to give you about $31,840 of the cost of owning this home per year. Then you're going to take that number and divide it by 12, and that's going to give you the monthly breakdown. And if rent is lower in your area than this amount, then you'll know that renting is actually going to be cheaper than owning a home, and vice versa. If renting is higher than this amount, then owning a home is going to be a better financial decision. Now, this math is powerful, but it's not perfect, and there are some limitations to this rules, because number one, it assumes that you are going to invest that money that you would have put into a down payment on the house, that you are going to invest it perfectly in the stock market. And number two, it simplifies the mortgage amortization schedule because as you pay down the loan, interest amount year after year, it will get smaller and smaller. And it also assumes stable rates and inflation over time, which has not been the case for the last 5 years. And there are a lot of tax benefits when it comes to owning a home because you can deduct any of the amount of interest that you paid for the entire year on your tax return. And another big change is you can now deduct a lot of fees when it comes to buying a home. So if you paid any upfront mortgage insurance, fees on an FHA loan, any VA funding fee, any USDA guarantee fee, which can cost anywhere from about $5,000 to $15,000, you can now deduct that from your taxes. And all of this helps lower your taxable income, which helps lower the overall amount that you owe in taxes, which can either give you a bigger refund or give you a smaller amount that you owe in your taxes. And there are other benefits when owning a home that you can't fit into a spreadsheet or into a simple rule, because when you have a fixed mortgage, that gives you predictable and steady payment. You also have full control of the property as well. And also, inflation makes your fixed rate payments cheaper over time versus with renting, it's always increasing. And here's the thing, renting isn't a failure, it can be a strategy because you do get maximum flexibility when it comes to renting because you're not locked into a 30-year or a 20-year mortgage. You also don't have to deal with any property taxes, maintenance, or any surprise bills later on. And you get access to luxury amenities without having the risk of owning them. And if you don't run your numbers, then the market is going to run you. So number one, use the 7.96% rule in calculating the total cost of ownership for the entire year. And then compare that monthly number to an actual real rent amount so that you can determine which one is better. And normally on the short term, usually rent wins, but in the long term, buying is always a better financial decision. And if you're planning to buy a house in either 2025 or 2026, and want my help, click on the link in the description, schedule a call, and I'll be in touch.